Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a truly wonderful day so far. In today's video, I am just sitting down for the day and doing my makeup. And when I say sitting down for the day, it's definitely nearly 9 o'clock in the evening, but I've just been slobbing around my house today and I want to do my makeup to relax me before I take it all off and go to bed. And the focus of today's video is going to be the COLOURPOP Troublemaker palette. Now I picked this up in the Black Friday sale. I got this in January, like the first week of January, and I've used this a ton. It's been my most used palette recently. I absolutely love it, but I want to dive into it. I want to do some swatches, I want to mention it on my channel, and I want to talk about the palette a little bit more because I have some thoughts, and everything else that I'm using on my face is just random other things out of my collection. Honestly, some things that I love, some things that I'm still trying to get a handle on. So I'm going to start with the base. I'm going to use the Essence Hydro Hero Primer. My skin is so dry, I need all of the moisture that I can get my hands on, so this one is beautiful. This is one of the products that I have really been loving so far this year. I did a whole Essence video, a whole full face of Essence. So many of the products are firm favourites. So many of the products I'm using today, actually, looking down at what I have picked out. That was not planned, but also I'm completely okay with it. So I'm just going to rub a little bit of this primer in to really nicely hydrate the skin. Next up, I'm going in with the Essence Stay All Day 16-Hour Foundation. This is in the shade 08 Soft Vanilla, and I really enjoy this mixed in with the polyglutamic acid from the Inky List. However, I'm going to use it just as it is today because I have done that trick so many times I'm even getting bored of saying it. But just this on its own, I'm going to do like 3 pumps, and I'm going to use a sponge and just blend this right out. So that's the foundation all blended out. Just ignore this guy on my lip. I'm pretending that he's not there, so I would really appreciate it if you would as well. It's the time of the month, I'm not fighting it. I'm going in with concealer next. I'm going in with the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. This is just the original one in the shade 4. And I'm just going to really brighten up these under eyes. I have not been sleeping the best recently, so a lot of concealer is needed. And I'm going to tap this out with a brush, and then I'll probably go over it with the sponge just around the edges to make sure it's all nicely blended. For bronzer, I'm going in with this product. This is the Revolution Pro Goddess Glow Cream Contour and Bronze. I used this in a video recently and I wasn't sure on it, but I'm going to give it another go. So this is like a sponge tip thing. It's obviously a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one, so I'm going to, what am I going to do? Am I going to use a sponge? I might use a sponge. Yes, I'll use a sponge. So I will squeeze up a bit of product, dab it on where I want it, and then immediately go in with my sponge and blend it out. I didn't like this when I very first tried it because I thought it was a strange colour. It was just a bit of a strange undertone for me. However, I'm willing to give it another go. I did obviously buy this with my own money, so I want it to work. So let's see. Yeah, did I use a brush last time? Honestly, I can't remember. Maybe I used a brush and it disturbed things. I can't remember. I remember not liking it or not loving it. Like, it's fine, but I think I'm preferring this today. I'm holding judgment. Let's see. I'm just going to take whatever I've got left on the sponge down the side of my nose rather than like painting this on. Just take what I've got left on there, but I feel like I am preferring it this time. I can't remember why I disliked it last time. I just know I did dislike it. However, it's looking okay today. I'm not mad. I do feel like it is a bit of a stretch using contour in the name. It's definitely very, very warm, but I don't hate that as much as I did previously. I'm going in with one of my favourite blushes. This is the Profusion Blush Hour Soft Matte Liquid Blush. This is in the shade Rosé, and I'm going to use a brush with this. So I'm going to use a Real Techniques Expert face brush, and what I like to do with these is, you've really got to shake it up, just give me a sec. So what I like to do with these anyway, you can dab these straight onto your face, however I feel like you get more control by dabbing it onto the brush. I feel like it's less scary that way. So I dab all over there and then I go onto the face, and I'm just lightly going to disperse all of that over both sides, and I feel like that is the perfect amount for me. It's quite a pigmented blush for a liquid blush, like you'd think that it would be perhaps a little bit more subtle, but it's definitely packing a punch. It's so pretty. It's one of my favourite ones. I find that if you have dry skin, adding in all of these like cream and liquid steps is only going to be a great thing. So I am just very, very lightly going to set over that blush with the e.l.f. Duo Bite Size Face Duo. This is in the shade Guava, and I learnt recently if you mix into both of these on a brush, so this is the Real Techniques blush brush, mix into both, it gives you a really nice soft glowy blush finish. And I know for my skin tone, I would never use that highlight shade, that's just too dark for my skin, but mixing it in with that blush gives a beautiful highlighted, glowy, blushy finish, and another step that I absolutely love. So I am going to go in with a highlighter as well. This is the XX Revolution Powder Highlighter in the shade Echo. I picked this out for a video recently, and honestly I haven't put it down since. I've been wearing highlight on an everyday basis, which is quite unlike me, but I've been loving the glow just on an everyday basis, and this one is insane. Like, so many things that I'm reading are saying that this metallic glowy highlight is coming back in, more of an intense highlight is fashionable 2023, and I am so here for it. I love it. I love being seen from outer space anyway. I don't need an excuse to add more highlight, that's for sure. So I'm going to quickly just go off and do my brows. I'm using the Essence Micro Precise Eyebrow Pencil in dark brown and the e.l.f. Wow Brow in deep brown. So I will be right back when I've got some very fluffy, very dark brown brows on my head. Okay, fluffy brows are on. Let me zoom you in and we will get into the palette. I'm going to do some swatches and then we'll do something. We'll do something on the eye. It will probably be quite dark and quite smoky. Let's zoom you in and we'll do the swatches first. So this is what the palette looks like close up. As you can see, it is a very well loved palette. Honestly, over the last month or two, I have been using this pretty much on an everyday basis. I have absolutely been loving it, loving like the cool tones and the purples. Absolutely beautiful, and this shade here, Real, is insane. It is the most insane formula. When you see it swatched, you'll see why I love it so much. So I'm just going to go row by row, starting up at the top, going across, do all of them, show you them up close, and then we will do some sort of look. So starting on that top row, the first one here is Baddie, and that is a sheer white shift, very, very interesting undertone. Then we have a matte, and this one is a grey tone, and this is called Sus. Then we have Younger Self, which is a mauvey, very cool toned light purple, and that one is a matte as well. And then we have Wild, which is a rosy lilac-y tone, but this one has like a really interesting shift to it. Like when it catches the light, it almost has like a hot pink undertone. Really like that one. The mattes, as mattes often do, go a little bit patchy when I'm swatching them, but when I'm using these, they don't go patchy at all. So then the next row down, we have Fry Night, and this is more of a browny, cool toned colour, and that one is a matte. Then we have Villain Era, and this is the most insane shimmer. It's bright silver, but this one almost has like a blue undertone to it. It's definitely more blue than like the other one. Like this one, Baddie, looks very similar in the pan to this one, but so different when it's being worn. Then we have the shade Real, and this is the one that I just cannot stop wearing. So if I just work this in a little bit, this is all just the same dip. It's a brown, but it has like a blue shift to it when it catches the light, and I really hope that that's coming up on camera as incredible as it is in real life. It's absolutely beautiful, that colour, and so unique. Then we have Zero Fs, and this is another matte shade, and this is a darker purple. Again, still very cool toned, but darker than like Fry Night. Very different, that one. Then on to the last row, we have Kick Ass, and this one is a shimmer, and in the pan this one looks very similar to Real. This one, they look very similar in the pan, but you can see the difference there, where Real just has a browny, more of a warmer undertone, whereas Kick Ass is just a straight up silver, but more of like a gunmetal, very dark. So pretty, but very unique in terms of the palette. Then we have Messy, and this is another shimmer, but this one is like a purple plummy shade. So pretty, and this one almost has like a gold reflect to it. Then we have Cold Hearted, and this is a really unique shade. Just making sure that that one's like properly blended out, because that is a black, but it has micro glitter in it that's hot pink, and I really hope that these are showing up on camera, because in real life that is absolutely incredible. It's such a unique shade. I've not ever had a shade in a palette like that one. I think that this is like a unique formula to ColourPop, where it's matte, but it has these tiny little chunks of glitter in them, so it's not like a shimmer. It is a matte with these micro glitters in. It's so pretty. And then the last shade is You Love It, and that is just a black. And my skin is so dry on my arms that it's not like swatching out properly. Let me just go in with a little bit more on that one, because it is incredibly dark, like very black, but it's almost looking quite grey on my skin there, but it's just because my skin is so dry. So that is all of the shades. Absolutely love these shades. That Real, that one I have been wearing pretty much every single day, just really lightly with a big fluffy brush across the lid, is absolutely incredible. And I've just been reaching for this palette so much. Like the cool tones I feel are like really trendy, but also really wearable just on an everyday basis. So I'm obviously going to be doing something quite grungy, and like I say, I do have some feelings about this palette, and it is just, of course, my opinion. However, I feel like it's quite dark. I feel like they maybe could have done with some more of these sort of lighter tones, because really there's only 2 shades that I feel like would work as a transition for my skin tone. The others are just a little bit too dark, and they are perfect, of course, for adding depth to the outer corner or like stamping along the lash line. However, I feel like perhaps a few lighter shades just to make it a little bit more wearable for a lighter skin tone. Of course, if you had a darker skin tone, these would be the perfect transition tones for you. I'm just speaking from my own experience. But other than that, like I say, I have been using this a ton. So I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into Younger Self, this one. And I'm just going to dip very, very lightly because these mattes are insanely pigmented, and I'm going to tap out the creases in my concealer. I didn't set that. And just go into the crease with that shade. I'm also just going to run a little bit of that shade under the eye as well. I'm going to just sort of go over that creasing in the concealer and hope that that blends out. Yeah, a little something like that. And I'm really going to smoke out this under eye. Obviously with these colours, like, it's giving me like grungy smoky eye vibes, and that's like exactly what I'm leaning into today. Because the thing is with this palette, like, I am 29, am I 29? 1994 I was born. Am I 29? Yeah. I'm 29, so I feel like I grew up in the emo sort of phase where dark makeup, grungy sort of very messy makeup was the vibe, and I absolutely loved that. I absolutely lean into that, and I feel like this palette can give me all of that. Can give me all of what my 13-year-old self would have wanted. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Hopefully. I don't actually know. I don't actually have a plan in my head of what I want to do just yet. Just something. I'm dipping it into 0Fs and I'm just going to darken up the outer third-ish. Like I said, don't actually know what I'm doing. Just playing, just making it up as I go along, as always. So I feel like what I want to do is just dip into that real shade and like smudge that across my whole lid. However, I think what I'm going to do is use this palette again and do like an everyday makeup Monday and show you how I use that shade just really lightly across the lid and how incredibly beautiful it looks. So I think I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to go into Villain Era, that silvery shade, the one that looked a little something like that, and just put that like across like the inner half of the lid. I'm going to use my finger so that I can really pack that shimmer on. Let me just tap that across the lid. Like, look how bright that is. It's like straight up melted silver across the lid. It's so pretty. It's so incredible. I absolutely love it. This is like an inner corner, like doing something else and then just popping that directly on the inner corner. Beautiful. So I'm just going to go in with that same brush, no more product, and just blend that top edge so that there aren't any lines. And I'm also, what else do I want to add to this? I want to add another shade. I might put this one, Wild, put that like in between that silver and the purple on the outer corner, because that's more of like a pinky. Ooh, yeah. I want to leave that real shade. I'm desperately trying to not use it. I want to use that in a video all by itself. I'm going to just take a tiny, tiny little brush and dip into that first shade, that baddie. I'm going to tap that just right on the inner corner, just to really intensify that. And then I think just a little something darker on the outer corner. And I think I'm going to be done. I think I want something darker. So let me use, I want more of a dense brush. What brush do I want? None of my brushes are clean. We are not talking about it. I'm going to go in with more of a dense brush into You Love It, that matte black sort of inky grey shade. And I'm going to tap that on there. Add that sort of closer to the lash line, Just stamp that along. And then just one last blend with that first fluffy brush, just to make sure everything is nicely blended. And I think I'm done once I've evened those up at least a little bit more. Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to add liquid liner and I'm going to add mascara. So I'm going in with the Essence Lash Princess liner. This is the waterproof black one. And then for mascara, I'm using the Long Lash Lengthening Mascara from Relove. So I'll be right back once I've done that. Okay, so that is the mascara and liner done. Just a little wing today. I didn't want anything too crazy, so let me zoom you out and we can finish the rest of the face. So I will just wipe off the lip balm that I had on, and then I will go in with the Revolution Satin Kiss lip liner in Heart Race. I wish I knew where my pencil sharpener was, but alas I do not, so we're using a blunt pencil. And then I'm just going to smudge over that a little bit so that it's not so perfect. I do quite like the effect of having more of a softer, more lived in lip. I just feel like with the quite sort of glam grungy eyes it works quite well. Then I'm going in with the MUA Satin Sheen Lip Stylo in the shade Heroic, and this is more of a glossy sort of finish. It's a really beautiful, comfortable. I don't know why I always try and talk whilst I do this, she says, continuing to talk while she does this. But it's a really comfortable, glossy finish, but it's not too glossy. It's just like a balmy finish. Then I'm going to tap over the middle with the MUA Creamy Matte Lipstick in the shade Super Nude, and this will just lighten that up a touch and make it a little bit more nude. Hence the name. And that is me done. So let me know what you think of the finished look. Let me know if you have this palette, if you are also as obsessed with that shade in the middle. What was it called? Real. If you are as obsessed with that shade as I am. I cannot stop wearing it. Truly, today was the first day in about a week that I haven't worn that shade. So this is the finished look. Let me know what you think. If there's any other ColourPop palettes that you think I need, I'm definitely in the market. I have 3, truly obsessed with all 3 of them. So let me know if there's any that you think I need. If this is the first video of mine that you have seen, then hello, my name is Millie. It is lovely to have you. If you have enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. If you liked this video, I would love it if you gave it a big thumbs up. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!